He leads the major leagues in runs scored right now. He is part and parcel of the best offensive machine in baseball. He is George Springer of the Houston Astros here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, George?
Good. How you doing?
I am doing fine. I got to be honest with you here. I know I might be made to feel old in this conversation because when I was doing Sports Center in Bristol, I'm assuming because you're from New Britain, about 10 minutes away from Bristol, about 18 minutes as the crow flies, you were growing up in grade school while I was doing Sports Center. Correct, George?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was born and raised there, and I lived there my whole life. And ESPN was in my backyard.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Did you ever drive past thinking, you know what, I want to play baseball or I want to be on Sports Center one day? Just driving past the complex there in Bristol, George?
Yeah, that there's a driving range that my dad used to take us to. That's right close there. I forget what it was called.
Pine Valley? Pine Valley?
Yes, that's it. That place. Every single time, I used to go by and see the big satellite dishes and I had a bunch of ESPN posters and all that stuff like that. So yeah, I mean it was the goal was to be on Sports Center, but obviously I didn't make that one.
Oh well, I mean, come on, George. I think I've seen some of your highlights these days on ESPN, MLB Network, and left, right, up, and down. What you played at UConn, correct? Walk me through the process of you going to school and back to college, and whether you might have been overlooked at some point in your life, George.
Yeah. So when I was about a junior in high school, my dad had told me that if I had the opportunity to pursue my dream, that I could do it. And of course, as a kid, the answer is, duh, Dad, that's the plan. But then he asked me if I had any other plans if my dream didn't work out. And at the time, I said no. I'm gonna do everything right, and my dream will come true, and I'm gonna play for 25 years. And he looked me in the face and he laughed at me. And I'll never forget that. And his point was, I have to have a fallback plan, and the most important thing in the world besides my dream at the time was going to school and getting an education, and he told me that school would allow me to pursue my education, but it would also allow me to grow as a person and as a player, and once the time came, that was the decision. Was I understood that at the time, if this game didn't work out, I had to have a plan, and I had to have something to fall back on, and that would obviously be my education. So I said, you know what, Dad, I'm gonna go to school no matter what, and then hopefully in 4 years we'll see what happens.
And man, what has happened has been nothing short of outstanding, George. I mean, not only are you part of a good young team that has a bright future, you are an all-star, and not just any all-star. I mean, Bryce Harper wore a microphone during the game for an in-game interview for Fox's coverage of the All-Star game. And of all the all-stars for the American League, you're the one who wore the microphone. Why did you agree to do that, George?
Because it's fun, stuff like that. To me, is great. I like to give fans and to give people the perspective of the player and all that stuff like that. But for me, it was more of, I'm the spokesperson per se, and if I can go out there and talk and show these kids and adults that I can put myself out there and not be concerned about stuttering and all that. Hopefully I can help somebody. And obviously having a microphone in my ear and a microphone on my chest that day, it's a little intimidating, but you know what? It's all right.
So for those who might not know what SAY is, lay it on me, George.
It's the Stuttering Association for the Youth.
And that's why you wanted to put a microphone on, and maybe there's some kid out there who has a problem with stuttering, and here's George Springer of the Houston Astros wearing a microphone on a live broadcast playing baseball. It's an all-star. Might inspire somebody.
Absolutely. Because the message that I have to people is, you can't let anything that you can't control stop you from being who you want to be. And at the same time, I can't tell somebody to go do that if I'm not willing to put my own self out there. And hopefully somebody saw it and isn't afraid to speak in public anymore.
And now here you are here calling in the Rich Eisen Show, which we're greatly appreciative. George Springer joining me here. What has made everything seem to click this year with A.J. Hinch and the rest of the group, George?
Well, one, the veteran leadership of McCann, Beltran, and Reddick has made a huge difference. We're older now. We've played together as a team for the last 3-4 years, so I think we understand how each other operates, and we understand how to play as a team. But just the most important thing that I've seen is are having fun, and we're enjoying the game. We understand who we are as a team. Understand what our offense can do. So they just go out there and have fun.
And designated hitter, you did that last night. You've done that only a handful of times. Is this something we're going to see more of for you in the coming weeks to perhaps keep you fresher, George?
I don't know. That's obviously up to Skip. He stuck me in there yesterday for the second time, and it's a good blow from playing the field, and you just get off your feet some, but we also have a professional hitter in Carlos Beltran, so I doubt I'm going to take his position.
Who's the cut up on this team? When you say have fun, who's the one who leads in that department, George Springer?
I'm probably the one that starts it a lot of the times, but I can honestly say that everybody has fun. We're always getting on each other. It's a brotherhood for sure, and we're always in there for playing PlayStation and playing cards and kind of just enjoying the time that we have at the field, and then it translates on the field.
Give me for example. How do you start it? Give me one that I guess would even be safe for work, George. Not to say that you might work blue, but this isn't my first rodeo. As you know, I've been around the block in New Britain and Bristol.
There's some pranks that get done. For instance, today we're actually going to go have a funeral for Beltran's glove because he hasn't played the field in a while. So stuff like that, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, who leads that ceremony? Who's going to be in? Are you leading the ceremony for Beltran's glove later today?
Potentially, my guess is I'll probably see if Josh Reddick wants to do it. He says some funny stuff, man. He's a character. We've got Brian McCann is also one of your guys, and he's actually played with Beltran longer. So we'll see.
Right.
We'll see who's going to put his glove to rest today.
That's great. How come you're not on Twitter? We looked at the roster. You're one of only 4 Astros to not have a Twitter account. Why is that, George?
You're gonna have to hit me on the landline, man. I'm a big. I just don't really care for it. I don't really do social media at all. I'm just an old school guy, man. If I could have a flip phone, I would. I don't use my phone for anything but Spotify.
I was about to say that, George, because you sound like Andrew Luck, who does still have a flip phone. He called himself a Luddite last time we chatted about,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a big guy. I don't really go on the internet. I don't know. I guess by today's standards, I'd be considered weird because I don't have a Twitter or an Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. I kind of, I go home and enjoy my life off the field, and I'm I'm not attached to my phone. It's actually
Good for you.
If I wasn't on the phone now, I actually probably wouldn't even know. There it is. I lose my phone every day, and I don't even care.
Wow. So do you watch TV? You don't even watch like Game of Thrones or anything like that, George?
No. I didn't say all that.
Okay.
I didn't say all that. I do watch TV. I'm not completely stuck in the Stone Age.
Okay.
I just don't have Twitter or Instagram or any of that stuff.
Did you see Game of Thrones last night?
I did. I was locked in.
Okay. I've got Sam Tarley just sitting right here on the green room couch, the actor John Bradley, Samuel Tarley, George.
Come on.
Wow. Yeah.
That's sick.
Do you want to say hi? Hi to
He had a rough few scenes in that one.
Well, he looks great right here, George. George, he looks great right now.
I hope he looks better there than he did in the scene.
There you go. Hey, George, you take care, man. Come back on this show anytime. Really, I would love to.
Absolutely.
Dallas has been on. Your manager AJ Hinch has been on. Carlos Correa called in. I feel like I know you guys, so let's have you back on, George.
I'm in. Hey, I'm here. You just have to hit me on the landline.
You got it. That's George Springer. Even though it sounds like he's Bluetoothing on the phone. Thank goodness he didn't lose his phone for this interview. It's George Springer. How about that? He's wearing a microphone because he wants to inspire young folks who have a stuttering problem.
Great.
Look at me. Good for him.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on radio stations across the country and audience.
Isn't it amazing you can download an app with your thumbprint? You should download our app with your thumbprint.